another element that I just mentioned is when it comes to relationships is the the victim hero mentality, but never the villain. See, whenever we go through a rough patch in a relationship and we're going to share our stories, need it be with our family members or our close friends, we tend to always tell our stories from the perspective of all the things we did right in the relationship as we play the role of the hero, or all the things that the person did wrong to you as the role of the victim. But we hardly ever share from the perspective of us being the villain, of us being the one who caused the offense, who might have rubbed the person the wrong way. When you're in a new relationship, own your crap. Allow yourself the opportunity to listen to some of the things that that your lover is telling you, or that your family members are telling you, because it's going to allow you to see life in a bigger, better, brighter, more love-filled way. Yes, it is very true. None of us likes to be corrected. It's just the truth of it. It just, when you're told you're doing something wrong, it makes your heart race. It makes you look for all the reasons why, so you can tell them this is why you did that and this is why you did this. But in truth, stop for a second and try to learn something from it. Try to learn something from it. You know, I remember a long time ago being on a ministry trip, and someone shared with me one time about the way people talk to you. Say, don't get so wrapped up with how they said it. Don't get so wrapped up in how they said it, even though we know that respect is important. But if you're there to learn something in the midst of a rough situation, don't get so wrapped up in how it's being said to you, but listen to what's being said to you. Ask the person to expound on it. Give you a deeper, a greater understanding of this offense that you caused, because it's giving you the opportunity to learn about yourself. Because I know we all think that we're really wonderful. We really do. We think that we're wonderful. But the truth is, no one is perfect. The word says there is nothing perfect in the flesh. So always taking the position that you're always right is stealing from you. It's stealing from you, because no one can talk to you. No one can share their thoughts with you. No one can dare bring up a situation that you're causing offenses, because you'll never admit to being wrong. So what is the benefit? Like, you know, the word talks about throwing your pearls towards swine. It'll profit you nothing. If you're that person who can't say that you're wrong, or can't say that you're sorry, or ask for forgiveness, you are stealing from yourself. Yes, I know life has shaped you to be the way that you are. Yes, people are really horrible at times. And because of those offenses, it has caused you to be the way that you are. But whenever you get to the position in your life where you're hearing all the time, oh, you're never wrong. Oh, you're never wrong. Trust me, it's you, not the other person. It's you. That's right. You got to be able to take an L sometimes when it comes to relationships. It keeps you humble. It keeps you realistic. And it keeps you trying to get it right, especially if you're loving somebody. It's exciting to get it right. And if you mess up again, it's all right. You're practicing. If you ever join my seminars, I talk about that. No one that's learning a sport gets it right just by the coach telling them what to do one time. No, the coach got to keep telling you over and over and over and over again. And that's how it is in relationships. If it's not your norm, you're going to have to practice it. And practice means you're going to mess up. So the other person, it's all about patience. So however you respond to their offense, it leaves the door open for them to respond to you like-minded. So if you could learn to be kind in your responses, you're forcing them to be kind in their responses. Now, if they want to stay disrespectful, then you have to figure out if that's seeing that as a red flag is something. If they're not willing to humble themselves as you humble yourself, maybe they're not the right person for you, you know, because that's another part of relationships we often mess up at. Yours truly, you know, push past the red flags that you see. How often do you push past the red flags that you see? But before I talk about red flags, is there anyone else online that wants to join me live? Someone send me a request. Join me. Even if you just have a question, hit a request so you can join me online, and then just ask a question. Just ask a question. Anyone else? Anyone? Oh, I see Lolly's back with a question. I want to see anyone else. Well, I'm not going to say no. Join me. I will let you join me again. Hit view and hit on. Hey, what's up, Chuck? Join me live. I know Chuck is full of energy. So,
it's me again.
Hey, what's up, Lalita?
I had to come back on because of the hero victim villain mindset,
Okay.
and to
Okay.
tie it into what I said before.
Okay.
And I'll use an example. I will say I use my own. I remember the first time we talked about the hero victim mindset, and I told you my story. I thought of, you must be crazy. I'm the victim here. You know, no, I'm not a villain in my story. I can never be a villain in my story. I'm the good one. And, it took a while and it took a lot of soul searching to really understand those words. And it ties into we only know what we know, right? But we see ourselves, we will always tell our story from the point of we were offended, we were hurt, we were wronged, right? But if we really stop, we get past again, that I and the me, and we look at the we and the us, right? We can see the roles we played as the villain, even though it may not have been intentional, we still played a role. So the victim, we have to own that we are at times the victim and the villain in our own story. And when we can own that, I think that is the only time that true healing and true growth can begin. So thank you.
Absolutely. Let me tell you, true freedom comes. True freedom comes when you can own your villain.
Yes.
See, so often we stop and we think that the reason why we're in the position we are today is based off of what someone else did to us.
Yes.
And that's way too much power given to someone
To give
that's not
somebody
yourself.
else. Absolutely.
That is way too much power. Like you're saying that my whole life, the situations that I'm in, that I don't have any control over that the outcomes has nothing to do with me. Are you telling me that? No, that can't be.
Yeah.
That can't
Yeah.
be. So in your story, you look at your past relationships. If you can own that crap that you did in the past, you will then realize something absolutely freeing, that if you put yourself in that situation, that you have the power to put yourself in better situations. And
Absolutely.
that's where the story with the red flags come in.
Yep.
That's where the stories. Yes, Chuck. Yes, I'm talking about you because it's all of us, Chuck. It's all of us. I'm listening to the comments here because we all want to blame someone else. We all want to say that someone else did it to us. I'm hurt because of what someone else did to us. Like, I'm really kind. I'm really loving. I love love. But even I cause offenses. And here's the power. Here's where the power is that if I didn't, if I didn't look past the red flags, if I stopped and I listened to the things that were being said to me about me, I could have grown. I could have grown from back then. I could have not placed myself in relationships that weren't best for me because I was trying to work out my own righteousness. I was trying to work out my own joy, my own peace. I was trying to work it out for myself, but I believe in a higher power. Isn't that his job? His job. His job is to bring about the joy and peace. But I'm trying to push past all the things that I see that's wrong to get what I want. I want what I want. And whenever you do that, you might be mad at the other person for not being all that you wish them to be, but you're also the person who now became selfish. You became so self-centered that you will no longer settle for the bigger picture of what you really desire. You would actually now become selfish, self-centered, and just pick and choose the elements about that person that you're willing to hold on to. You become selfish. You're no longer loving.
Absolutely.
You're now thinking about I and me. If you see that that person is not right for you and you stay in that situation, you're no longer thinking about us and we. You're thinking about I and me. Well, I can live with that. I can live with that. I can live with just those few things that I really like about her because I really want them. I really want them so bad that I'm willing to ignore the other stuff. But the other stuff is always going to lead to disappointment. Time and time again is going to lead to more and more disappointment. So there is freedom in owning that negative. Because if you're the person, if you had the power to put you in that negative situation, you're the same exact person with the same amount of power and the same amount of abilities to put you in the right situation and for you to receive, instead of the pain, that intense pain, to get that intense joy,
Joy.
to get that intense
Mm-hmm.
peace, that intense love, that love that we all, in some way, shape, or form, crave to be loved. Thank you, Lolita. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Ah,
You're
yes.
welcome.
I love this. All right. All right. So who else is out there? Who else is going to join me in this conversation?